All right, welcome to I Don't Know What I'm Doing. Today I'm going to be putting together a nice little soldering kit I got on eBay. These cost $1.69. $1.69 in US currency. And you have to pay $1.97 for shipping, so you might as well throw in a bunch of other ones that you can get for super cheap. Very simple little soldering kit here. We have our button, we have a transistor, a resistor, and then we have a capacitor, I believe, is what that is. I'm not 100% sure. Yep, that's a capacitor right there. So, capacitor and then an LED, and then there's also going to be two battery, where I'm looking for battery leads, battery somethings. You can tell me what it is in the comments if you want. So, a fun little kit here. Got the button here. The button will sit down ever so nicely. Oh, the button has to go in sideways. Oh, that's what they want you to do. So the button, kind of interesting, they actually want you to take the leads of the button and bend them, so that way it sits flush like this, and that way when you put it in the case, you can press it there. So there's a little thing you might want to keep in mind. Here is our transistor. It's got the 3 leads. We have we give you a lot of resistors here. We'll be using they're all the same. So we'll be using one of those. Actually, are they all the same? I don't know if you can tell. They are slightly different in color. Here's our nice big LED. Looks like it'll be very bright. That'll be fun. Here is our capacitor. And we have our battery leads. And those are going to poke in. It's somewhere on here. The bottom here is kind of interesting. They give you this area. I believe that's why they give you the extra resistors, so we can practice, which is kind of nice. So I got my soldering iron all nice and hot. I'm using a very inexpensive soldering iron I got from eBay for like under $20. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to start with some of the easier pieces. It does want us to bend the capacitor. Ever so slightly. So we are gonna be bending this over. So I'm gonna be giving this a little more space than one normally would, because it's gonna be kind of poking out here because we want it to be flush. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, I'm off camera, because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. All right. And please do make fun of my soldering skills. I was taught by no one. Okay. You could say that I was unleaded, just like my solder. Yeah, bad soldering puns. Okay. So I've already tinned this once, but it seems to have already decided to go untinning. It's really unruly, this soldering. Okay, let's see here. Oh boy, it's been a while. Okay, here we go. And my soldering, my solder doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, here we go. We're going in. And we're going in. All right, we're going like that. That'll do. I've noticed that this solder is not the best. Yeah, that's pretty shitty, but anyway. Okay. All right. I really am apologizing to anyone out there watching me do this and going, what is he doing? Is he completely gone to blad? And to answer your question is yes. All right. Seems like a solid joint there. I know you're all looking at that soldering job and going, that is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. You are a disgrace to people who do this kind of thing for fun. And if that is your response, you are allowed to have that thought. But you know, whatever. Just for no reason. Resin. I think that if I do this, this is supposed to help some, right? It's supposed to help the solder flow a little better. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Those look much better solder joints now. Okay. I'm going to get my beautiful clippy clips here. All right, so now that we did that, I'm just going to grab my clips. I always close my eyes when I do this because you don't want a piece of metal flying into your eyeball. Just fun fact. So it's like find that point, make your clip, close your eyes, then make your clip. Okay, that was fun. Alrighty then. So now I'm grabbing one of these resistors here. Fun fact, I recently printed out a bunch of these 3D printed resistor bender things. Funny thing is I can't use it because my current needs right here do not require a very small bend. This would be way too much, so I'm not going to be able to use it today. That's okay. One of these days they'll come in handy. I just thought it was cool to finally make something that was semi-useful on my 3D printer. I recently purchased, not recently, in April, a 3D printer. Oh, am I missing a hole there? I am. Oh, interesting. Oh, that was the hole I accidentally. Ooh, I get to use my sucky thing. Don't know if you've ever seen one of these. They're a lot of fun. You press the plunger down, and then you press the button, and it sucks the solder out of wherever that solder is. So like notice right here, boom, boom. It just pulled the solder right out of that hole. Now we can kind of see through it. We'll find out if that works. Okay, so back to this hole. And we're not quite there yet, but we will be there soon. Okay. Ever so carefully, remember people, everyone, I know exactly what I'm doing. That's a lie. Don't listen to me. Okay. I think that worked without even... That's how strong the suction is. I just sucked it from outside of the way there. Okay. Back to our resistor, which I seem to have misplaced. Where did I put you? Do you see my resistor? Feels like this is an episode of Dora the Explorer. Okay. Well, I misplaced that resistor. Who knows where it went? Boy, I'm on a roll. Okay. So, here's the resistor. We're placing the resistor right here, poking it through. Oh, this is going to be such great footage. Okay. Resistance is futile. I always like to say that when I'm putting a resistor in. It's just so much fun. Recently learned that saying, resistance is futile, is from Star Trek. Just as I am an avid admirer of baseball, I can't really call myself a baseball fan, and I am an admirer of Star Trek, but I am not a Trekkie. I don't have that much commitment. I wish I could, though. I did recently start watching the original Star Trek and found it very entertaining. Okay, so this solder sucks. Okay, here we go. Come on. Okay, So that's good. That's a really crappy solder joint, but I'm going to come back with some resin. I think this is just really bad solder. This is the stuff that came in the kit. I have at my other soldering iron I got years ago. Okay. Yes, those are atrocious. Absolutely atrocious soldering joints. But that's okay. I'm just going to put that on there. And this should help reflow that solder and give us a nice joint. Nice, beautiful joint. Beautiful. Okay. Resin is your friend when you are soldering. I'm going to do a nice little trim there. Remember to close your eyes when you press the button. When you clippy clip clip. Excellent. Well, that has been probably the longest 11 minutes it has ever taken to put on a capacitor and one resistor. So I am just on a roll here. We are now going to be putting on the transistor. Whenever I think of transistor, I think of transistor radios, because that's like when I think of hearing it. Transistor radio. That's a song. Not 100% sure. And of course, I can't do this. Okay, we can do this. Come on in there. Okay, here we go. Got one leg in. Put your left leg in. Put your left leg out. Put your left leg in and shake it all about. And if you grew up in the 90s, then you know what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Take your... Okay, here we go. And we're in. Okay. Looking good. Diagram made it really easy. And now I'm just going to solder these bad boys in. Okay. Make sure I get that so you can watch all the action. Oh. Okay. Clean off my tip. Okay, there we go. And we're going in. Get a little tin my. Okay, it's really ugly. Okay. Well, that's one way to do it. Okay. Oop. Watch out. You have 1,000. Not 1,000. I think I'm currently running about 750 degrees here. Really hot tip. So, fun fact, soldering is one of the hottest things right now in consumer electronics. For those wondering, yes, that was a joke. Because it's hot. Like temperature-wise, not popularity-wise. But I think it's actually becoming more popular. I know that if, as a kid, I would have loved burning things with this. I can't say that I probably would have done stuff with it. Okay, and now I've definitely bridged that solder joint. Come on, there we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put some resin down. Hopefully that shapes up. Okay. If you're just tuning in, you'll know that I have no idea what I'm doing. Which is fantastic, because, you know, I really didn't have a resin to do this. There's it again with the resin jokes. Be here all week. Okay, there we go. One down. Okay. Two. Definitely need to fix. This is definitely not good. This is not what I want. Calling the big guns. I don't have any solder wick. So this is all I have. Let's see how this goes. melt it. Suck. Pretty cool. That worked pretty well. Okay, I actually have some better solder here that I'll use instead. I've been trying to use up this other stuff, but it's just awful. So this stuff actually works pretty well. As I say that, it doesn't work. Okay, let's try that again. Here we go. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, that's just really crappy solder. Just gotta stop using it. Count my losses. Okay. All right. So, transistor is in. Snip. 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 So if I wanted to, I could practice my soldering, which I probably should, on all those empty ones there. Other than that, there's really no reason for it. Just give it some structure. So it's kind of nice of them to toss that in there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the button in. What's this for? There's this thing here. Oh, this is such an idiot. That is the cap of the resin. Okay, the button time. So the button kind of fits in like this. We're actually going to be bending these downward, which is not normal. At least not what I'm known, not that I know of. Those will just pop in like that. It's looking pretty good. Once it gets soldered in there, it'll stay. I'm gonna try and push these a little bit just so that way they are more vertical. Okay, now I don't have any of those fancy things. They're not really all that fancy to keep this there, so I'm just gonna kind of set it, and then we're just gonna cross our fingers. You can't see a thing I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. Oh gosh, watch out. I'm soldering my soldering cable. All right, so we're just right here. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to take a quick check at my soldering cable cord here. It looks like it was just a little grazed by the piping hot soldering iron, but this is looking pretty solid, which is good. JK, it's totally wiggling. Let's see here, is that wiggling because of the solder, or is it just wiggling because it's going to wiggle? It's just really going to wiggle, I think, because it's actually looking decently. I'm not too disappointed in the way those soldering joints turned out, people. Look at those other ones, though. Some of those are really ugly. You guys are going to make fun of me for those. Look at that big one right there. I think they call that a cold solder joint. I don't know. But again, I don't know what I'm doing. So, we got that down. So now, I just need, we have this little piece here. And I honestly am having trouble figuring out where this goes, but it looks like I can just put it in this spot here and then bend it outward like this, and then that will be, this kind of stays there and then bends upward, and that is your, I believe your positive, right? Nope, that would be your, yeah, the positive anode. I think that's what I was thinking of earlier. It's kind of a polarizing topic, so probably shouldn't go into it. Okay. This is definitely proving a little more challenging than I expected, at least this part, because it's just, this is when having those like handy hand things would be really nice. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and solder that sucker down and then bend it afterwards, because I think it's got a good enough spot where it's at. Okay. All right, I'm gonna give the other solder a chance since this seems to be a pretty basic soldering joint. Okay, tin, tin, tin. I'm really glad you have a beautiful view here. Okay, here we go. Going in. Wow, that is just awful. Could that be any worse? Okay, well, this is just really bad solder. I don't understand. You have resin for a reason. Okay. Okay. So, I'm putting my resin down. So if you're really good solder, what should you put on your resume? 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 Nah, it's not very funny. Okay, let's scoot this up a little bit here. Money shot right there. Okay. Ooh. I didn't realize what I was doing again. Okay, here we go. It's not even hitting the bottom. That was good. I just picked up the entire solder joint. Oh, great. Okay. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm an idiot. The metal's on that side. Okay. So, you know, you live and you learn. There was nothing for the solder joint to even adhere to there. Of course it's not going to stick there. The metal's on this side. Solder like metal. Okay. Yeah, so solder likes the metal, and so it will stick to it if given the chance. Okay, looks pretty good. All right, not too shabby. Wow, this metal is a lot harder to cut. No, it doesn't. I think I just bent my teeth. Definitely bent my teeth. So that was great. Don't know if you can see that, but be mindful of what type of teeth are required when you're working with this, because I just bent my wires. So that was fun. Okay, next thing is the positive one. I'm positive. Let's that be, or this is negative. I keep saying I'm messing up my polarities here. Okay, it's just a tough time. Okay, bending this outward a little bit. So when the battery, this takes what looks like a AAA battery, it will stay. So I'm gonna flip this back over and just throw it on the ground because I'm angry at it. Okay. Go. Wow, that's really ugly. Okay, come on. I think whatever, that'll do. Who cares? It's $1, you know, when you're doing this kind of stuff, it's like, well, it only cost $1, you know? So, it's not the end of the world if I screw it up. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow, that is just hideous. Okay, here we go. Come on. It just doesn't want to hang. Well, it's hanging. It's just, no, this is such an ugly solder joint. Oh, no. Everyone's like crying. Okay. Wow, that solder gets a little warm. Just FYI, if you're not careful. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a lot of solder. Well, if that isn't the soldering joint only a mother could love. Okay, let's see here. Get a little bit more of my resin out here. So I'm really going heavy on this solder, this resin, because I've really messed up the there we go. Okay. That's not too bad. Actually, that'll do A-okay. Alright, looks like we got our battery things in there, so it's not too bad. Last but not least, I'll be doing the LED. In this case, the LED goes in. Make sure I do this correctly. Positive is right there. So long on the LED is positive. Negative is the shorter leg. And then we'll just kind of, this will just bend over. Actually, it doesn't look like it's all that off. So it's actually just like that. Okay, fun. All right, and then I'm just gonna take these, make it a little easier on me when I'm soldering, because I'm the best solderer there is. And there we go. Okay, fun. Okay, set that down. It's like a massacre of solder joints. If you're squeamish, don't watch, because it's pretty bad. All right, here we go. And we're melting. Come on, crappy solder. Okay. Wah! Nope. Does not want to stick. Okay. Man, this is just like not doing it. It's just, what am I hitting? Okay, here we go. Diving in. Oh boy. Whenever I start to touch it, I push it away. Wow. That was bad. I love how I just keep getting this crappy solder a chance. It's like, he doesn't deserve a chance. It's time after time shown that it can't do the job. And so we have to bring out the big guns. What up, resin? Okay. That should help us reflow our solder to give it a little bit better. Okay, did I just bridge those? Of course I did. Okay, looks good. Good, all right. Those look much better. All right, so there you have it. Just gotta trim those with my freshly dented trimmers. Close your eyes when you do this. And I guess I'll just leave these two. They're not bothering anyone. So there you go. Not too bad. We'll do a little test here. And we'll see what happens when I get a battery up in here. Okay. This battery, fun fact, Earth Cell, was from a Kickstarter I backed. And their big thing was you would save the environment by, make sure I do this correctly, plus, by sending them your, oh baby, look at that. Not bad. I didn't mess it up. Fun. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna put it in the case now. So anyway, the battery, you would send them your spent batteries once it ran out of electricity, and then they would recharge it. You would mail them, like they had boxes of prepaid, like posted box, and then you'd send it to them. They would charge it and then send it back to you. If it sounds crazy, it's because it is. And they were just standard nickel metal hydride. I think they were just rebranded Eneloop batteries. And I got them because I just happened to need some rechargeable batteries, and I thought it was kind of cool. I thought they looked cool, and they came with these cool boxes to like store your batteries in. So I backed them, and I never sent them the what do you call it? Well, this is proving harder than the soldering, which is saying a lot in my case. Okay, let's do this. Come on. Maybe I should do... Oh, I know what's going on. It's funny how sometimes it just takes you a few seconds to catch up to what everyone already knows. You should put it into this one first. And then once this is in, my theory here is that it'll be easier to... Okay. Okay, excellent. It's just not, the battery is not connecting very well. But we'll see what happens when I put this on top. Okay, can I close it? Will it close? It's kind of hard. Ooh, ooh, almost there. Hearing clicks and clacks. Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. I'll try that again in a second. So here's the end product, and it actually does work. It's not super secure. I just need to kind of jam it in there again, but not a bad little project. Pretty fun. Longest build, 30 minutes for a little LED light with, no joke, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 components. So that's an average of, what is that? It's 24, it's almost 5 minutes for each component. So that just gives you an idea of my soldering skills. But a fun little project nonetheless, a good starting one, and you have a fun little thing that you can use. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. I hope you'll join us again next time. I'll probably be putting something together. This is a very stubborn case, so we'll see if I can get that fixed at some other time. Or maybe I'll just take some duct tape and just wrap it around, or some electrical tape, and that'll be good. Cool. Thanks for watching. Adios.